The Chiefs get another revenge game and a chance to play in another Super Bowl, all because of one thing: it pays to be a winner. Let's break it down. Welcome back, everybody. This is Ryan Going Rogue. Welcome to RGR Football. We have a great opportunity here to see revenge happen live for the Chiefs against the Bills one more time. It's been a long run up to this session, but we're going to go over where we stand and what I think has to happen in this game to get the W. Make sure you like, sub, and hit that bell. Become part of Rogue Nation in our memberships. Get on our Discord, the whole 9 yards, because this is what it's all about right now, the height of the playoff season and getting to that next game to play for a championship. Make sure you check out BetUS before I get into this next one, because if you want in the action, that's the best place to do it. So check out YouTube 154 3 times up to $2K on your deposit bonus. I appreciate you guys. There's been a lot of folks checking out NFL 33 lately. Appreciate everybody checking that out, getting over to Locked On Chiefs, buying the gear in the gear store. Get the MVP while it's fresh off the presses. I think you'll dig it. This game comes down to a couple of things, and I'm not going to race through it like I normally do. I'm trying to be relaxed. I'm trying to be chill like Andy Reid. I am trying to look like, hey, this is the best that I got. Andy Reid's a magician as much as Patrick Mahomes is. Steve Spagnuolo is a guy that's got a bag full of tricks a mile deep, and he hasn't barely scratched the surface. And I think that's job number one here. It does come back to the fact that whatever you put on film, teams are going to decipher. There's no way around it. So by being crafty and just playing it close to the chest, if you're a poker player, you sit down at the table, you don't want to give it away. You don't make faces. You play your cards low, right? You wait until you got that monster hand, which I think the Chiefs have, and then you let it fly. You bet heavy into everybody, and you take those pots. That's what the Chiefs are about to do. They've been laying low all season. They've been playing it easy. They've been doing a couple little things, little eye candy here or there, but nothing really nuts in the last multiple weeks, specifically against the Texans. They didn't give anything away. Little orbit motion to tantalize the eye, and that's it. Nothing about what they really want to do. It's the gamesmanship that Andy Reid plays, and Steve Spagnuolo as well, by not giving away his blitz packages or how he's going to approach this or leaving some weird spy going on. He throws enough wrinkles out there in the defense, playing a little Tampa 2 last week, throwing a couple of things in there so that teams have to prepare more deeply than they would have earlier. And it all leads to this. What their game plan is for the Bills and for the Super Bowl are not something that's on film yet from this season. You might have concepts. A good defensive coordinator can figure out where Andy's going to need to go or what he's going to try to do with some of the weapons he has. But the season has progressed to this point because they haven't given it away. And that is the key to making sure that you can catch the Bills off guard and whoever in the NFC survives. That's the goal, because this team is focused on going to that Super Bowl and winning it. Now, the other thing that I think is totally underplayed here, because the Bills have already beaten the Chiefs this season in the regular season. Regular season is one thing. We know the history, right? We know the revenge games. We know that Patrick can come back and lead the offense on last-second heroics, right? I hope that it doesn't come down to that. I fear that this team may be the last possession kind of winner, but there's a lot to it.
The best way to get into the action is with BetUS and their deal with code YouTube150. You can start playing today with that exclusive offer. You can get into all the football that you want, whether it's this week's matchup for the Chiefs, whether it's getting into the season-long odds against Super Bowl, against the division. The Chiefs are heavily favored in a lot of those, but there are plenty of bets to be made. And you can do it all at BetUS, where you can get 150% of your deposit bonus up to 3 times and up to $2,000. Use YouTube 150 today at BetUS.
So where I'm going and what it comes back to is having all that history, having all those comebacks and knowing this team so well, having lost to them already actually sets you up to prevail this time, because you're at home. You did your job. You won the most games. You were able to have home field advantage. It pays to be a winner. This is where it pays off, because it's a whole lot of a different thing walking into Arrowhead and trying to take a game from the Kansas City Chiefs than it is to beat them at home in Buffalo. Likely not going to be snow in this ball game. So that's another advantage that the Bills could have had that they won't. I think the two of these things together, playing at home and having new wrinkles that you are ready to unleash on them, I think that's really important. And two prospects that bode well for the Chiefs actually winning this game, moving on to that next Super Bowl. But that's not it. You got to get more done than that. I think it comes down to Hollywood Brown as well as DeAndre Hopkins not having been used much. Didn't catch passes last week. Did throw to Hollywood. So, you at least put a little something out there on film, but fed Xavier closer to the line of scrimmage maybe than you wanted to, or that the Bills think you will. Now their secondary that's a little bit beat up, and we'll get more updates as we go through the week on Taylor Rapp and everything that he's experiencing, whether he's going to be available. We will definitely give you the full game plan, including the injury updates on Friday, so don't miss that. That will be very specific, Dan. I'll run you through how they win the AFC Championship game and give you the plan. But all that aside, it's about using these two prospects, aspects of an offense that you haven't had and you didn't plan on having, thought maybe you wouldn't have even with the injury to Hollywood, to an effect that they are just not ready for because you haven't shown them anything. The gamesmanship goes on. And I think this could be a big game for the both of them. Travis went off last week. That performance that Travis Kelce put in last week against the Texans demands more coverage. It demands that you give him a double at least part of the time. It demands that everybody out there in that secondary, especially if there's backups, especially if you're DeMar Hamlin, especially if you're somebody that has to cover the middle of the field, has to be concentrated on where Travis Kelce is at all times. That allows Xavier Worthy, and particularly Hollywood Brown and Nuke Hopkins, to break loose a little bit. Now, there's nothing worth playing for more than a championship, and I think DeAndre Hopkins understands that now. I think he'll be at the top of his game. I think Hollywood's rounding into shape pretty well and nearly had that ball last week. I still would argue with that call, but that's all right. They are the guys that can now up their game to another level. Haven't played in this game before, but they are professionals. They are experienced vets, and they have that next gear that they can go access, and that helps everybody. And I think it's going to be a 1-2 punch for them. They're going to try, and they're going to, I think, especially early in the 15, they are going to give Xavier Worthy some touches. They have to feed Travis Kelce, but they have to find exactly how the Bills are going to go about trying to take it away. They have some good players over there, guys that played well against them last time. I think you have to respect that, and you have to come at it with an attitude that you are not just walking into it because you're at home field. There's a lot more to do with what actually goes on than that. But it lets you be what you need to be, and that is set up the pass, come back with the run. I do think Joe Thuney should be at left guard, and DJ Humphries should be the tackle. If for nothing else, then we're going to see a repeat of what the Texans did, and that's that they're going to rush wide on Joe Thuney if he's a left tackle. They're going to try to beat him to the depth spot to attack Patrick Mahomes, who is looking to take some shots, and so he is back in the pocket a little bit more. Now, Patrick can thwart that by stepping up a little bit more readily and a little bit more succinctly and just taking the yards that are in front of him. I think he'll be looking to do that as well. And it does come back to the fact that if you switch them and you have DJ Humphries out there, they have to change their plan because they haven't seen enough DJ to really know. And you can run the ball better if you have Joe out there at left guard. And I think for Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco, that is a portion of this game plan as well. They got to try to get their sparks with the pass game, but they got to come back and be able to run the ball to keep the defensive front honest and fatigued so that you can get things done, because your defense is going to have a tall order. Now, you got Shakir out there, you got Kincaid, you got Knox. I think they are the top three receivers. You're going to get something from Samuel. You're going to get something to Coleman. Cooper's going to get some yards. I think he had 55 against the Chiefs this last time out. So they are going to spread it around, but I think the three that you have to stop is Shakir, Knox, Kincaid. Kincaid didn't even play last time. So it comes down to how do you deploy that? I have a plan, pretty succinct plan, but I'm going to give it to you on Friday in the game plan, so don't miss that. It's going to involve multiple people and deploying things a little bit differently than we've seen this season, but it will look familiar. I think it all comes back to do what you can do without giving it away, and Andy has, and I think they have enough firepower to go score points. I think they can get up into the 30s. I do believe that. And for Spags, it's about making sure that you play your rule set. It's not necessarily scheme, although it will come into it. It's about the rules you put in place for this particular game to get this particular win. I think it's going to be set up, and I will break them all down for you on Friday. So thanks for being with me tonight. Check out BetUS. Our pals over there are doing a great job, and we have a ton of content for you. Dan's in the film room. Gary's got all the stats and statistics coming for you so that he can lay it all out on Thursday. Then the game plan. We might even give you a little bonus there over the weekend, but be ready for this AFC Championship game. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great one. Like, sub, hit the bell if you have not met me before. My name's Ryan, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.